Hello and welcome to Swedish to Linux. Linux the right way. Today we're going to talk about what Linux community need to do, part 2. I did a part 1 where I talk about the software development inside Linux community. But now we will talk more about what the Linux community need to do about Linux and where the problem is for Linux to be able to compete with Microsoft Windows and macOS. You see, 90% of the Earth's population are not tech savvy people that want to dig in rabbit holes of different errors and try to figure it out and see that as a pleasure. Most people just want a computer, press the button, press the icon of the program, and get on with their lives. They're not interested at all in the technical aspects or dive deep inside the system to fix something. This is why Windows has such a great majority of the market and why Apple's macOS X is growing and getting a good piece of the pie of the market. Why? Because they are simple to use. You don't need to be Einstein or geek or nerd, whatever you want to call it, and to jump down the rabbit holes to fix some technical issues, whatever it may be, and you get a kick out of it. Most people aren't like that. And this is what we're going to talk about more right after this. Welcome back. Please like, subscribe, and push the bell notification. Give the thumbs up. It won't cost you anything, and it appreciate very much because it helps the channel out. Okay, so let's talk about what the community needs to do specifically about the Linux to be more compatible with the majority of the people and be a better competition against Microsoft Windows and Apple macOS X. And here it is what I've seen during my time of using Linux. You see, if you're a tech savvy person and you like to be a junkie of to getting down in rabbit holes about different problems and solve them and you get a kick out of it, then Linux is absolutely by far the best system. Hands down, no discussion. But then on the other side of the spectrum, we have the guys who are not at all tech savvy and tech interested, and they just want to push the power button of the computer, click on the icon, and work with the program and get done with the job and get along with their lives. And they are not at all interested in jumping down the rabbit hole and figure out the technical things and getting a kick out of it. So here it is, these two opposite sides. And here it is where Linux, in my opinion, missed the mark by huge. You see, this is where Microsoft and Apple macOS X perfectly fine get it. You see, the majority of the people are not tech savvy people that want to jump down the rabbit hole and get a kick out of it. Majority of people just want to use a computer as a tool, nothing more, nothing less, get the job done and get on with their lives. That's basically what it is about. So now, what is the issue then with Linux? Well, first and foremost, Linux is not unified. It's both their strength and their Achilles heel. You see, Linux goes in every direction, and Linux exists everywhere. You see, if Linux desktop was the same as Linux server, then the situation would be completely different. Because whatever happens on the server side, it doesn't take more than a few hours and the problem is solved and the new patch and add-ons or whatever they need is being done. But on the desktop, it takes much longer and there are not as many developers and they are not as critical and pushy to fix problems on the desktop side as they are on the server side. On the server side, they're fixing the issues immediately, maximum couple of days. But on the community side, the desktop level, it could take months, years, even decades before they fix some of the issues. I'm not talking about to scare you off from Linux. On the contrary, I love Linux and I'm always going to have Linux on my experimental machine. But as it is now, for my production machine, I'm still using Windows because it's much, much more stable and predictable than Linux. I'm not saying that Linux cannot be predictable and stable. You can get a very stable, like Debian. But in my case, not even Debian. I managed to crack Debian right open just after a couple of minutes after I installed it. So I'm going to talk about a few of the issues that the Linux community has. And let's take a look at it. Let's take a look. You can see the graphical flip. Okay, that's not a big deal. You see, this is standard theme that I can download to KDE Plasma, and I have this. I mean, I could understand if the computer was low specific that I can talk to them, low specific computer with low specifications. But this is not the case. I'm having here, for example, the graphical card is a AMD XT79 XTX deluxe overclock blah 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 24 gigabytes version, and still something simple as this, Linux still drags. I mean, this was common on Windows XP and Windows Vista, and Vista was way overpowered compared to the hardware that existed when Vista released. So there was a hardware software problem, that the hardware wasn't powerful enough to pull Vista around. But this is year 2024 and I still have these graphical glitches, which is very noticeable. You will see later on a video about it. This is not acceptable. If Linux really wants to compete with Windows and macOS, these final touches must be done. It cannot be, doesn't matter. And if they can't fix it, remove the themes and only have themes that work 100%. But I can tell you with 100% certainty, not even the standard theme that are included when you install KDE Plasma has the same problem because this is graphical uh, driver problem. But the graphic driver does not utilize the graphic card fully. Far by it, far from it. Let's look at another picture. This is let's see. This is OpenSUSE, I think, or no. This is Debian, and you see what a bug. This one should be here, and this one should be here. This is a graphical flip. It shouldn't be there. We are talking about Debian stable here. Debian Bookworm 12.4 with the latest updates and latest driver updates and everything. This shouldn't happen. Not on this computer. Not on an AMD RX 79 XTX Overclock Deluxe Edition card Sapphire Nitro Plus Plus Deluxe. It shouldn't happen. This is an absolutely no. This cannot be. And you see, I love to solve this problem. Don't get me wrong here. I really love to solve this. But the issue is it is not solvable because there isn't any solution up to date. And we are talking about today, it is 8th of February 2024. This shouldn't be here. This should be gone. Bye bye. See you. Yeah. And then people can complain that Plasma 6 will come and the problem. Oh, I guarantee you now, mark my words, there will be plenty of bugs and errors and strange things going on with Plasma 6 for years forward. So take my words on it and you will see. Let's go to the next picture. This is OpenSUSE GNOME Edition. Come on. Why? Why this graphical flip? Why? Why? And Debian is what's supposed to be the most up to date, the most correct everything. Nope. We get an error here again. It shouldn't happen. Simply, and this is 13 December 2023. It shouldn't be there. This error should be gone 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Let's go to another word. Login screen on OpenSUSE Tumbleweed. What's wrong with this picture? There is no background. It shouldn't be like this. This is wrong. It shouldn't be like this. There should be the picture I put where you can put in the settings of KDE, but it's not there. For some reason it flipped. Why I have this, I have no bloody clue. Okay, let's continue. Log in with two monitors. This is the login screen. If I disconnect one of the monitors, then it works fine. But if I connect both of them, this happens. And there is no chance in hell I can get in, because I don't know if it's Grab or the drivers. I dig down the rabbit hole too long and I couldn't figure it out. Not even OpenSUSE himself, because I wrote a ticket to them, couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. And this is a 6K monitor, 6144 by 3456. And this is a normal 4K, both Dell. I really recommend this monitor. It's superb in any shape or form, but it's really, really good. But this is no in 2024. Log in with two screens, and it doesn't matter if it's two display ports or one is HDMI or one is display port. It should work. There is no way that this could happen in year 2024, that I cannot boot with two screens on OpenSUSE or on Debian 12. It happens. It shouldn't be there. I know I will hear plenty of you have no problems. Obviously, I have. And here is the evidence. Let's continue. Basically, it shouldn't be there in year 2024. The same boot of OpenSUSE. This is after this should animate and become yellow, but it doesn't. It just stop here. I got the mouse cursor, but no login. It shouldn't happen. This point of the boot process, this point of the system should be rock solid. Doesn't matter which Linux distro you choose or whatever it may be. It shouldn't happen regardless if you're using desktop, KDE, or GNOME. I had the problem on both of them. Now lately they say that it's something with the latest kernel version 6.7.1, I think, that there are some issues with the graphic drivers and it's no, because I had this problem before I updated to 6.7.1. So no, this is something else. Let's continue. This is again. This one I think is Debian. Well, this is the login, but no login. There in the corner is the login. And there's no way I can type anything in that little dot. This is just crazy. And I have exactly the same issue on OpenSUSE. So if Debian have it, this should be one of the absolutely most stable system. And it happens like this. It shouldn't be here. Login screen. OpenSUSE shouldn't be here. Not in 2024. Not even remotely. It shouldn't be here. Let's go back to the graphical arrows. Basically, it shouldn't happen in year 2024. This kind of things must be fixed, must be done. It must be perfect. I'm not talking about design but functionality must be completely perfect. End of discussion. No more or less. It cannot have this kind of errors and rabbit holes that me as an end user who are no interest in computers more than as a tool to start digging out on different forums like let's see, my daughter has been on my computer. I see. Oh, lovely. Very lovely. And let's talk about it. English boot login. Is a freezy. This is one of my errors I got as well, and there's still no solution to it. This should not happen in year 2024 if Linux really want to compete with Apple, macOS, or Windows X. Because you can say what you want about Linux, about macOS, and about Windows. But Windows 11, with the latest build and latest updates, it's rock solid. This kind of errors was down on Windows XP. That's, what is it, 15 years ago? Even more. Even then, I could already run two screens without major issues. But Linux can solve that kind of things in 2024. And another issue, your system may work today perfectly fine. You get an update and something breaks. And then you need to go down the rabbit hole again. That's not acceptable. I mean, even I could crash Debian 12 in a couple of minutes on a fresh install. It really says that Linux is not ready yet to be a prime candidate or competent to Windows and to macOS and to compete about the desktop end users. I'm not talking about professionals. I'm talking about the everyday Joe who just want to do something, who have no technical interest to jump down the rabbit hole. He or she shouldn't need to face this kind of basics. I'm not talking some advanced super. It just must work. When Linux gets there, I'm sure Linux will. It's only a question of time if it will be in the next couple of years or next couple of decades, I don't know. But until then, macOS and Windows will rule the world because Linux is still too technical for majority of the people. Please like, subscribe, and press the bell notification. It won't hurt you, but it helps the channel up, and I really appreciate it. So, guys, this is not to scare you off, but this is just to show you where the problem is. And I showed you Debian, which is the most stable distro there is, and the most stable rolling release, which is OpenSUSE Tumbleweed. And both has basic, fundamental basic problems that shouldn't exist a decade ago and not today should absolutely be your archaeological memory. It shouldn't exist at all, but it does. It shouldn't be this. This is why I today still have Windows, because this is, you see, I'm doing it on a Windows machine. Because I cannot trust Linux yet. And this is why I'm using Windows to record, because I had huge amount of problem with OBS latently after the latest updates. The mics and the video and the webcam and so on and so forth. So I need to go back to my backup main machine. This is with Windows. I usually have a Debian machine, but it's completely broke down on me on a fresh install. Remember that. Fresh install, and it break down on me. Just about 15 minutes after it was done installed, it started to break up on me. So, and yes, I've tried Fedora, and Fedora have the same issue. The hardware works fine because I installed Windows on it, and it's no issue whatsoever. So obviously there is some issues with the Linux latest kernel, and something with the latest driver issues or the grub issues. I don't know what. But I will stop here. This is just a video for you to show what the reality could be. I'm sure there are as many people who have not a single problem, and people equally as many people who have huge amount of problems. Just go in on the forum and you will see text after text, and that's not exclusive to Linux. It's the same on Mac and Windows. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and press the bell notification so you can see the further future episodes. And please, if you like something or want something, write down in the comments below and I'll make it for you. See you.